Look, I get it. You finish work, you're exhausted, and you've barely got the energy to think about starting a business or growing a business. And in the very early days for myself, when I started in business, I was still working in a full-time job. It was something that I was doing on the side. And I'd come home and I'd be exhausted, I'd be tired, and I'd just want to chill out and eat dinner and not really do a lot and get myself ready for the next day at work. But I knew for myself that if I just kept doing that, then nothing would change and I'd always stay in that job. And I started by running some workshops. I used to run like personal development workshops every now and again on a weekend. And so my time would be spent on studying the courses and the training that I brought, learning from my coaches and my mentors, getting the accountability. So I'd have like accountability sessions and I'd be learning how to market, how to sell so I could get coaching clients, but also how I could fill up the workshops that I was doing. And to be honest, I found it difficult. I didn't have the skill as much as I would have liked to be able to fill up those workshops. And so that was something that I had to keep practicing. I wasn't very good at sales, so I had to learn to get on the phone, speak to people, to sell tickets to come to my workshop so I could teach people for a day, right? And I could showcase what I could do and I could help them. And so the early days of my business, that's what I was doing. And any free time that I had, I was single at the time. I didn't have any kids. I didn't have a mortgage to pay. I was renting at the time. So a lot of my free time I dedicated to building the business and learning the skills that I needed to do. If ever, and it was the same on the weekends as well. And it's got to be the same for yourself. You just got to dig deep because nothing will change if you don't work on that business. Because in 5 years' time, I tell you, going to that job, you will still be tired. You will still be exhausted at the end of the day. And just like a plane taking off, so much energy is spent for that plane to take off in order to get itself in the air. And it's going to be the same for yourself. You're going to have to expend a lot of energy in order to get yourself and take off, to get yourself going, to get yourself moving. But ultimately, think about this. Imagine you being able to leave your job, you're working on your terms, you're choosing your hours. Now you can do things in flow. Now it's not about putting how much effort in and giving up all your free time. You can work and build a business on your terms in your